Hey, in this video we're going to look at some ideas of how you guys could turn something like your sprite collage into more of an actual game. For when you make your own game, don't feel like you need to follow exactly what I'm doing here. This is your chance to be creative and make what you want to make. I'm just going to show you a few things that might give you some ideas, some common things that people might want to add to their games, and hopefully it will spark some ideas for you to make something cool. I'm excited to see what you guys make. So I'm starting here with my sprite collage that I made in my last video, just to kind of show you guys what it does. I can touch the urchin, it takes away points. My octopus says ow. If I touch the fish, changes this color of the screen. Also plays a sound that you can't hear. And if I touch the turtle, it says I win, and I get some points for touching the turtle. Actually 100 points. Okay, so I want to make this into a little bit more of a game. And right now my urchin is kind of the bad thing that I don't want to touch, but it's just sitting there. It's not very hard to avoid that urchin, so maybe I want to make this urchin move around. That's the first thing I'll show you guys how to do. So I'm going to go to loops here and bring out this forever block. I want my urchin to move back and forth for as long as the game is going on. So what I'll do here, so go to sprites, I'll grab the third block where I set the velocity of something. That's the speed and direction is velocity. And I'm going to set that to my urchin. And I want to think about, do I want it to move in the X direction, left or right? And do I want it to move in the Y direction, up or down? A positive X will make it go right. A negative X will make it go left. A positive Y will make it go down. And a negative Y will make it go up. And so that's why over here you're seeing it kind of move in this diagonal way, like this, because we're having it go both right and down at the same time. I think I want my urchin to just go up and down, so I'm going to start by having it go down, and you'll see it just goes right off the screen. It's gone. We'll never see it again. We need to make sure it reverses and comes back. So I can go to loops, and I can actually have it pause for let's say half a second here. So it's going to move and then pause for half a second, and then I'll duplicate this piece, put it in here, and I'll set this to -50, meaning that it's going to go up. You'll see that it goes down, and just had to fix something there for a second. So it's going to go down, and then we want it to go back up for the same amount of time here. So it's going to go down, wait, and then up, and then wait, and then it's going to loop back around and keep doing that. So here it goes up and down, up and down. If I want to increase that range, I can bump up the time here. And you'll see that it has a bit bigger of a range. So you can edit this. You can actually type in whatever number you want. You don't have to just select from these. And then it will go back and forth. And then maybe it'll be a little bit harder, depending on how fast I make it, for my octopus to dodge it. Okay. Another common thing that people like to do is have something follow something else. So maybe Freddy Fish is going to follow me. I can go to sprites and choose set something here to follow something else. And I can set Freddy Fish to follow Oliver Octopus. And you'll see, oh, it's really fast. I can't get away from him, it's so fast. So that's probably not what I wanted. I want to click this plus sign here and turn down his speed. Let's try maybe 15 here. here instead of 100. And now you'll see he's always following me. And I could make this a bad guy where I lose points when he touches me, and so it might put a little pressure on me to go quick past these urchins. It's fun when games have a story or something like that, like an RPG game where there's some words that are happening or dialogue. And we've seen before how we can make sprites say things, but they're usually just little short things. So you can actually have a longer piece of dialogue. If you go to Game here and Show Long Text. So maybe I'll put this at the start. And it's set to show at the bottom of the screen. You see it shows up here at the bottom. And I could type something a bit longer here. So I could say, Oliver Octopus has lost his best friend, Terry Turtle. Help him find Terry. Okay. And you'll see it shows up here, and I have it right at the start of the game, so we kind of know what we're trying to do here. We're trying to find Terry, and I'll press the A button, and off we go. There, I found Terry, and I won. Now, alright. So we've got enemies that can move back and forth. We've got some dialogue. We've got things that follow each other. I want to show you one more thing here. This is a bit bigger of a thing to implement, but it can really kind of expand your game into something that feels larger. You'll notice that we're just on this one screen, and that's not very much room here to move around or have a game. You might want a much larger area, so we're going to do something called create a tile map. I'm going to go to Scene here, and I'm going to grab Set Tile Map, and I'll put it right here and click on this, and this brings me to an editor here where I can sort of draw out my map for my game. Since I've got an undersea theme, thankfully there's a set of tiles called Aquatic, and you can click through them with these arrows here, so there's a few things that I could use. And I think I'm going to make kind of a coral maze that my octopus has to find its way through to get to the turtle. So I'll go ahead and draw a maze here. I want to make sure that I have a spot that's kind of open that looks like an entrance, and a spot that's open that looks like an exit. So I will start by making a border around the map with maybe this is my entrance down here and this is my exit up here. I'm going to pause for a second while I draw my map. Okay, I've drawn my map, and I've got all this coral everywhere, and then I've got this checkerboard pattern that's just the default, and that will show me my default background color that I already have set behind there. So it won't actually look like a checkerboard if I have this here. Let's see. Oops, I made a mistake here and didn't let someone get into this area. Gotta fix that. Okay. Now I want to place down a piece that represents the entrance and exit to this level. I kind of like these little orbs that are under dungeon, and I'll set this as my entrance one, and this is my exit one. Make sure that this is the only time that you use that piece on your map. If I have a couple of these, then I've actually got two exits here, and that's not exactly what I wanted. So I'll erase this one. I'll press Done down here, and I need to set up a few more things with this to really get things where I want them to be. First, I'll start by going to Scene and choosing this one. Place my sprite on top of random, and then I get to pick something. So I want to choose where my octopus starts. And you'll notice that if you click this, I've got my different tiles that I've used. So this one I said was going to be the starting spot, so I'll choose that. And if I go over and play my game, I've run into a little bit of a problem here. This is a common mistake to make. I'm telling it to place Oliver Octopus on top of that thing, but Oliver Octopus does not exist yet. It doesn't exist till after this. So you'll see that I was running into a bit of an error here where he's not starting on that thing. Now if I take this piece, if I go like that and move it down, oops, getting a little bit messy here, I move it down to the end of this onStart here thing. Now, the octopus isn't here anymore, he's down there, we can't see him. Here's another thing we need to do. We need to have it so the camera follows the octopus. Okay, so now I'm in my starting spot, but uh-oh, I can run through all of these walls. Okay, let's fix that. I'm going to go back into my tile map, and there's this thing that looks like a wall here. You can draw where all the walls are, so it kind of highlights them in red here. You just go around and draw over all the things you want to be walls. So I'll pause while I do that. Okay, I've drawn over all my walls, and now if I go to play the game, now I cannot walk through the walls. Okay. I might want to place some other things though, so maybe I'll do some more of these place things on top of, and I'll go duplicate, and now I'll put Terry Turtle on top of the exit spot, so he's at the end of the maze. And then maybe I want to go and choose a spot for my urchin to be. So maybe I want the urchin to kind of move up and down right in this area, so I have to dive into this little hole here and wait till it goes past and then sneak out. So I'll put this little tile here as a spot for my urchin to go. So I'll duplicate this, put my urchin on top of this piece, and let's see how this game goes here. Run through the maze. There's my urchin. It's going back and forth. I gotta time this well. Ooh, it hit me. I might need to adjust it because that's really hard to get past. And then I can go up here and find Terry and win. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to completely finish off this game here in this video because I want to remind you that this is your game. You add what you want to it. Hopefully this has given you some ideas of where and how you could start with this. I hope you guys have a great time. Making games is super fun. One of my favorite things to do. Thanks for staying engaged. See you guys later.